Buddy. Yeah, you know what? I'm here. I've made it. I've showed up. Oh shit. I've made a bunch of things make noise when they're not supposed to. Okay. I think everything is working normal now. Fuck. How's it going, Preposterone? Yeah. Nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, so as you guys know, I come on here and I'm quite transparent, and I just kind of speak my mind about things, and I say things that sometimes, people don't like. I say things that could probably get me into trouble, but it's like I'm not really a highlight reel though. You know what I mean? I'm also talking about things that we think about. I know, because I'm human. I know what we think about. When we're online and we look at enough shit, the same kind of crap goes through my head as it goes through everybody else's. And it's like I said in the title, man. I'm starting to hate. I'm not starting to. I just literally, it's been going on forever. A love-hate relationship with social media, right? It's like I hate social media a little bit more every day. Just a little bit more every single day. I don't know. Are you guys in the same boat? Because it's fucking terrible, bro. Today was a weird day for me. Earlier, it was before noon. Earlier this before noon. Oh, is why I have an X account. Is this an X account and I don't use it? It all sucks. It does, man. It's painful. It's literally just painful to endure all of this. I was like here. It's like the spiritual warfare is real right now. You know what I mean? It's kind of kicked up like quite a bit most recently, and it's that whole, was it summer solstice thing? Yeah, so there's just like a lot of a lot of craft is happening right now. Yeah, a lot of rituals in the craft going on, and so not only are us Christians feeling it, but same with a lot of other people too. And all day it's been a bit of a struggle. Yeah, it's like earlier on before noon, I had somebody quiet knocking on my door. I live like downtown in an apartment building. I don't talk to my neighbors. I know better, It's like I just don't, nobody talks to me. I don't talk to them. Nobody comes to my door for sugar or a cup of, flour. None of that shit. There's none of that goes on down here. You know what I mean? It's just not the place for it, right? And so when someone's like quietly knocking, quiet, so quiet that they don't want to be heard, a couple times and then walking off, that it's like a burglary. It's like, okay, if someone wants to like break into your place and steal shit, and they do shit like that to see if you're home during the day. Because if you're not home during the day, you don't answer or whatever, and if you do answer, they give you a generic, confusing, gaslighting thing and walk off, right? But if you don't answer, they come back and they assume you're at work, and so then they bust in and take shit, right? I didn't say anything. I just listened. I wasn't sure what I was going to do about it, and by the time I had figured out what I should have done about it, it was hours later after they had left, right? Yeah. But I know I should have just went to the door and said, fuck off, but here's the thing, is that, I started thinking about it, all the things, all the ways to respond, all the, and the whole thing is you want to scare them off, right? It's like, well, so think about all the things that run through your mind, that what could be the scariest thing to do, right? And then, yeah, and so then it leads you into a place of like anger, and even like creatively trying to come up with something terrifying, which leads you more into a demonic state of mind, right? Is leading you into more of a yes, giving Satan a yes kind of thing. It's a trick. It was all a trick. And so, and here, the reason why I knew that it was all a ploy, a way to throw me off, is I went online and I'm on Instagram, and it would not stop feeding me nonstop people fighting, like scrapping in the streets or in their homes or with each other, or that's all it would feed me all day long. I was just like, really? Really? That's all you got for me today, Instagram? I mean, either it was just literally straight up, demonically fucking, like influencing me, like, and this was all like, like spiritual warfare, or it's just one of those days and everybody is posting nothing but that kind of shit. Or a little of both, I don't really know, but yeah, it's just, I've been sitting here watching all this crap all day long going, what am I doing? I'm like praying, like low-key praying for the end of the world today. Pretty much. Yeah, and I'm questioning my input, like what I'm adding to these platforms and why. Preposterone says Insta owned by Meta, the Facebook company. They're malicious as fuck. Yeah, they are. They are, aren't they? Yeah, man. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, these are my thoughts. So you can imagine, like, take that idea, that state of mind, and imagine all the plethora of things I've been thinking about that go along with it. Plethora of things. Yeah. And then I realize how, here's the other thing too, is like, I don't even know exactly what I want to say about it, but it is something that's just, it's a little bit sort of disturbing to me. And when I say as far as like how fake, I don't want to say how fake people are. I don't want to say that. Hang on. Let me think about what I want to say. Preposterone says, Facebook ran a secret experiment on end users to manipulate their emotional state. Really? I didn't know that. What did they find out through that experiment, that they were able to completely puppet them around? Yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm watching, and I realize that there's like, it's like this, it's like, that they could wire people, yeah. Man, dude, it's like, there's a level of acting that happens that I've noticed that is, it's all about the way you animate your face and your facial expressions. And there's facial expressions that people, it's almost like a form of seduction, but it's not a sexual seduction. It's just a form of like, either looking cute or attractive in some sort of manner. Yeah, and it's sort of like a bit of a dance within the face, puppeting of the face and the expressions. Yeah, to a degree that I seen it in a family member that I hadn't seen in a long time. This family member, you could tell, was like they had been rehearsing some of these expressions, and I've seen these expressions happen where people have been puppeting their face to do them, to look attractive or to look surprised or shocked, or you know what I mean. And this family member, I was talking to them, face to face, and they were stuck in a repetition of constantly doing the surprised look, like the shock at what I was saying. It was almost compulsive, like over and over and over. It's like I had to like tell him, stop it. You know what I mean? I know what you're doing. The gig is up. You know? Yeah. But it's just disturbing, you know what I mean? It really is. Because it's sort of, yeah, it's a form of it's like a training yourself to be, what's the word I'm looking for here, would be charismatic and attractive, and you know, it's like, and I think that it almost sort of just really rubs off, and you don't even have to think about it. It comes as second nature just from watching it so fucking much. You know what I mean? Jimbo Fisher, hey buddy. You've had a life full of disturbing people, it seems. Oh yeah, haven't you? Haven't you? Haven't we all? Oh yeah. A life worth of disturbing individuals. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah. Satan targets us all, right? Yeah. And he attacks through other people. That's the way it works. That's how he attacks you. He attacks you by speaking into your mind, working you up, you know, getting you out of sorts, using other people to get you out of sorts. It's all, yeah, it's a brutal thing. So I don't think any of us have ever really gotten, you know, free of that ever in our lives. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't know what I have to add to it. Here's the other thing too, is I was watching, I think it was X Factor or something like that, and it's like, I feel that for sure. You do too, right? Yeah, you do. You know it, buddy. You know it. I'm watching X Factor, and it's like, look, I pray every day for more and more discernment. Sometimes 4 times a day I'll pray again for more discernment. I do, because it's just like, I need it, right? And every day, because of this, the world doesn't, it just doesn't seem like the same world. Every time I wake up, it seems a little bit different because of this, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's something I you know, is more of a curse to have that veil lifted like over and over again, a little bit more like that, because it just starts to look a little more disturbing. Yeah, the word. Yeah, but I'm watching X Factor, and I realized something, and this is a really great example of it. Is this whole, okay? How do I even explain this? A nice one flat out statement that could kind of cover it all is that it's a no, what's the word, an acceptance. It's about acceptance. It's about, you know what I mean? The whole thing is about, yeah, it's about acceptance, and beyond acceptance, more like in an unhealthy way. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like sitting there in my brain. Beyond acceptance. It's like, yeah, like looking for, help me out. I think you know what word I'm looking for. Here, Deathmatch. Yeah. Hierarchical deathmatch. Yeah. But it's not just acceptance, it's something else. Where we're not supposed to be looking to other people for it. It's just a simple word, and I don't know why it's like eluding or evading my brain right now, my memory. It's is it called again? God, help me out, guys. Validation. Thank you. Yeah, it's a validation machine. That's what this is. It's like, even this, it's like, yeah, okay, part of me does this because I enjoy the actually doing it, right? Like, I enjoy everything about sitting here by myself when nobody is around and I'm enjoying my instrument. There's something about that is just, I love it. I gravitate towards it, right? But there's also an aspect about this where it's like, look at all the work I did, look how good I am, validate me, you know what I mean? Do you accept me? Do you approve? Do you approve? And when I think of X Factor, I'm thinking of it in like from the X Factor point of view, not mine so much. But yeah, I guess so there's going to be an element of that too, because I exist in this world as a creative type, so there's going to be that element. But as far as the way like social media is set up as a validation machine, right? Basically it is. Yeah. And if you go and you watch X Factor, it's a perfect example of it. It's like you have 4 judges, right? A person has worked their ass off, even narcissistically, to believe that they're better than most, to come down there and to be a teen idol or whatever it may be, to go on stage, to perform, and then stand there to get judged. And then each one of those judges takes a moment to completely love bomb the person, and you could tell that they're riding on every word. If they get a good love bombing out of a judge, they're almost in tears because they needed it so bad. They needed it so badly, right? Harmony and peace of mind are the best 100% on social media. Yeah, 100% validation, indeed, exactly. And then when you got one judge that, says something negative, the beast comes up and they get angry. Like angry, defensive, sad, tearful, disappointed, self-hating, whatever it is. And if the golden ticket goes off, like, look the fuck out, right? I mean, and it's a perfect example of what we're doing on social media. It's a validation machine, right? But nobody's really interested in validating each other. They're more interested in getting validated, unless you're inspired by them, you're attracted to them, or you pity them, or your heartstrings get pulled and you have an emotional response, and so then you will validate them. You know what I mean? But everybody's looking for the same thing. Everybody's trying to be attractive, charismatic, most talented, or the funniest, and then it's like this, and then everybody goes off and they imagine in their mind. Remember I said about where the social hierarchy begins and ends, and fame begins and ends in your mind, right? So it's afterwards you go and you look at all the hearts or how many times something's viewed, and you imagine yourself as one of those people that you watch, that lots of people know about, and everybody knows who they are, right? And you imagine yourself as one of those people, and it's like, I'm being worshipped, or I'm being followed by, I'm what's the word, famous, I'm sexually desired, I'm charismatic, everybody's talking about me, people idolize me, like, you know what I mean? Like, all those things go off in your mind, right? And then it's like, to keep that train rolling, you need the next hit for the next day, so you put up the next thing to get that hit, to keep to keep validating, or affirming, affirming, right, where you are, and it just keeps going. Yeah, looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah, dopamine. Yeah, for sure. That's so. This is our experience on here. It makes me think to myself, what am I adding to it, and why? Why exactly am I adding to it? And I mean, I'd be foolish to say that I'm the only one that isn't doing that, or that I'm the only one that's avoiding all that, and they ain't getting me, but they're getting everybody else, everybody but me. I'm sure everybody thinks that themselves, that that's the experience, right? Because we're here. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, there's all the meta reasons, right? Like, think about how many positive experiences exist within this whole validation machine thing, right? There's the human interaction where you, like, look, we do sit and we have good talks, and we try to make heads or tails of things, right? And it can be helpful, right? But there's everything else that's unhealthy around it too. And all of that is in a big soup of things. Think about what that means. Yeah. These are just my thoughts, yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how to make it better. I don't have any answers in that way, but it's just something that I notice. It's just sort of, let's call it, okay, I see where I am, and I think it's affecting me negatively, I think it's motivating by the desire for legacy in general, but that desire, like any other, can be exploited. Yeah, you're right. The fact that, it's like, sure, if I were to look at that from a personal experience, I'd say, I hear one of the reasons why I'm live streaming and I'm not censoring myself or doing a highlight reel is so that way there's like, there's a real person. Maybe I can add, so, well, it's like this. It's like, there's enough bullshit, right? It's like, okay, so how about I just try and, when I say try, how about I try out doing something that's risky and not even considering that the things that I say can be used against me in a nasty way, right? And just be myself on here, not think about people as looking back at it, you know what I mean? And just having conversations as if you and I are sitting here in my living room and we just smoked a bunch of joints and we're just talking without worrying about anybody hearing what we're having to say, right? And I mean, maybe there's a lot of people doing that. I guess there are. I guess there are too, and that's a good thing. But is that a positive thing? I don't even know. I don't even know. So it's like the legacy thing is, it's like I'm Big Brother is always listening somewhere, but for sure, yeah. And legacy, it's like I'm leaving sort of like a diary. It's like a log, a great big log of like hours of me speaking my mind, every day or every other day or whenever it is I decide to live stream. And I mean, that's sort of like once I'm gone, right? If I'm gone before everybody else is gone, then I don't know. There's that. Is that a legacy? And what kind of legacy is that? Right? And what is the reason for legacy? So that you're never forgotten? Or so that you have something to leave behind? And where we are in the timeline in that, it's almost like it's kind of too late for it, more or less. The manifestation of immortality. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right. You know what's crazy is like, I have a lot of people that can't stand me for a lot of reasons, right? Mostly it's all based around jealousy. Fair points. And they could easily go in there and, find something and clip it out of context and use it to create a crazy narrative about, which is a good thing that I never like delete any of this stuff, because it's like proof, when you go back and you look at it in context, it makes, it just kills their argument, right? But it's like, I do these live streams for like fucking enormous amounts of hours, to the point where it's like I could say something in the center of it that's fucked. Like I could say the N-word like 12 times or whatever right in the center of a 10-hour live stream, and no one would ever know, because no one's going to hang in there for 10 hours or sit there and sift through all that, right? Which is kind of weird. It's a weird thought, actually, when you think about it. Yeah. Actually, I don't want these. I was going to eat a bunch of breath mints, for fuck's sakes. I don't know why. That would have been terrible with my Diet Pepsi. Bunch of fucking breath mints. Yeah. So, yeah, those are my thoughts today. Yeah. Yeah, it would have sucked. Yeah, we're in a validation machine. It's like everybody wants to be validated. Live action Mentos experiment. I know, right? Excel, mints. Would that even do the same thing? These things? I don't know. They're not. See, Mentos, they got those little rigid things on them, like they're all bumpy, and that's sort of what's making the carbonite. The carbonation, fuck off like crazy. But I don't know what these would do. Here. I got one in my mouth. I'll put... If it freaks out of my mouth, I'll know. Doesn't do anything. No. It's not the same, I guess. It's like brutally hot in my place. Like brutally warm in my place. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those warm nights, warm days, or whatever the hell. And your boy Marc has no air conditioner still, so yeah, it's sweat and suffer. I'm gonna have to throw out my gaming chair. It smells like hell over that really hot period of time that I was live streaming. Remember those nights were like really fucking hot? My chair is not, it's not a pleasant thing to be near right now. Not at all. Is that going to be 97, 98 midweek here in West? Oh, by God, no way. Oh man, that's warm. May also be sugar-free mints. I used to drop cherry sour candies in my cola, and it would go nuts. Really? No way. West Virginian saying, holy shit, no way. Oh, for late June nuts. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry you got to go through that. That's fucking warm, bro. Holy shit. Yeah. I'm not, yeah. I still gotta buckle down and start finding a new place to move into. I haven't been. I've just been like sort of like turned off from even looking recently, yeah. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff going on just to even... I was overwhelmed to even start looking, yeah. Especially when the humidity starts hitting 70% plus. Ooh, terrible. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, like I said, my gaming chair does not smell good anymore. No. I've had to, like, I got... you know that Lysol stuff that I use for cleaning up my kitchen all the time? It's like in a spray bottle. I like spray my chair to like kill all, to try and kill off the bacteria, because it'll kill 99.9% of everything. And then I spray it down with something that smells like fresh laundry, and I do that over and over again. And it works for a while. It helps. Yeah, it does. Helps a lot. But it's like, I spent so much time in this chair that I've worn off I guess it's like a leather or a plastic or something, or a faux leather. And it's flaked off. So it's just material. And it's sort of like porous material. Yeah. And because of that, and I was sweating so bad during those really hot nights where I was streaming there, it was really bad nights. It just smells terrible now, yeah. Fuck. That's okay. I'll get a new chair sooner or later, yeah. I will. It's too bad because it looks cool. Yeah, it's a cool looking chair. Just all like leather and shit and whatnot. Yeah. I've been actually releasing a lot of fucking videos lately and shorts and stuff like that. Yeah, I went to my other YouTube channel. I had like 43 videos that were sitting in private on that YouTube channel, and I just said these were like rough cuts of things and all kinds of shit, but it's like from so far back, from so many years back, that it's almost like it's history, it's relics. So I released them all. Yeah, I released them all, and I've been like gathering up, because I've got like I've been creating stuff forever. So I've got like content all over the place, all over the internet, fucking multiple YouTube channels, multiple websites. Like I've got so much shit that I've decided to just do my best to kind of pull it all together under this one channel, whether it be in links um, or in playlists from other channels, like just trying to bring it all into a hub. Yeah, most recently. And I went through my hard drives past couple days because there was something I had found on that YouTube channel that was not completed, but I remembered I had completed it at one point. But I guess I had uploaded a really small version of it, um, and I had showed it to my buddy that was, part of it, and he's like, "Where's the rest?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I found it, but it looks like I'm going to have to do an edit because there's so many versions of different sections of it that I need to take like the best renders of, updated renders of each section, and try and put it all together into something that's good." Yeah, and while I was doing that, I ended up finding more stuff and more stuff, and so yeah, if you've noticed, that's why there's like I'm constantly like been recently uploading stuff to Instagram, uploading stuff to this YouTube channel, like shorts and different things, is just because of that. Yeah, and so there's like a whole bunch of shit that I'm going to be releasing over the next little while. Yeah, kind of surprised as to how much is there. Like lots, like it's ridiculous. Like some of just the drone footage alone that I have is just ridiculous. There's so much. I don't even know what I'd do with it all. Like I have no clue. Yeah. Let's see here. Like, yeah, I don't even know what the fuck to even think. Like, I don't even know what to think of it all. It's just crazy. There's just so much. It's stupid. There's like, and this is only 2 hard drives that I was looking through. Yeah, it's only 2 of them. I got another 1 terabyte hard drive just full of footage. But I found stuff from like, like 2000. Well, actually, I've got stuff from further ago than that, but yeah, I mean, the last thing I had put up there was from 1994. 1994, like literally stuff like forever ago. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like that's a thing. Yeah. As far as legacy goes, it definitely adds to that experience. Yep. Thing is, though, I'm nothing special. You know what I mean? I'm not some famous dude. It's not like, everybody knows me from all the way back in the day, and now that you know, and because of that, like, look, put it this way, if I was famous at some point from that long ago, then can you imagine how valuable all of that stuff would be, right? But because I'm not, I'm just a whatever person on here, just like I'm just whatever, just some person, right? So looking back into my history isn't as exciting as someone that you know really well, right? Like someone say from a band that you grew up listening to that were a famous band or actor or something like that. Usually the extras that you would find of theirs is very sparse. You would not find it, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, but it's something anyways. It's interesting, I guess. But I saw that video of your roommate horror story. It was crazy. You watched that, eh? That was crazy, dude. Yeah. It's like, the way you gotta look at it when you do watch that is, I'm exposing, not him, but I'm exposing something that was oppressing him and possessing him. That's what I'm exposing, and how it worked through him. Yeah. And it's for a number of reasons, but I think it has a lot to do with the takeaway. It's the beast. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's the takeaway that's the important thing. Um, you know, it's the things that I refrained from doing, that I was being called to do, from this demonic entity that was working through him. It was the fact that I refrained from it, which was the hardest thing. But it was the fact that I refrained from reacting is what saved me. Yeah. Because otherwise, I mean, things could have went really, really, really wrong. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I'm not exposing my roommate. I'm exposing the thing that was working through him. Yeah. Not that I was looking for validation, but that game or that video, this game, because I saw that video, I said, but that video gave me some validation on some points of life. It did, eh? Tell me more. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, for reals, yeah, hey. Yeah, I guess it would, just things, lots of things, I guess. And it's just like, can't just pinpoint one thing. You'd have to actually sit and think about what you'd want to say about it, like, because it's like a whole thing to it. I know what you mean. Hmm. I do. There was a lot there. There's a lot there that happened in that whole series. Yeah, I'm glad I put it up. I am. And I should even go and put in the description, just to make people aware, like, look, this isn't the dude, my roommate, that was actually acting out. It's what was working through him. And so just look at it like this, like he's just as much of a victim from this demonic entity as it was making of me, trying to make me into, right, a victim, right? We're both being victimized by this thing. And that's sort of where I'm going with that. Yeah. And it's like this. You remove that demonic, that demon from him, and he's not going to be acting like that. Simple as that. Yeah. Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, I never experienced anything like that before. It's like, kind of, but not like that. That was fucked right up. Yeah. Making nests around the house out of garbage. Yeah, like that house was spotless. I would clean it spotless and then it was like the guys would go outside, go into a dumpster and grab armfuls of garbage and bring it in the house and create nests and shit. Then sleep in them. Yeah, or just sit in a pile of garbage. He'd just make a big pile of garbage like a little tent, and he'd sit in it. It'd stink. It would be like just literally garbage from outside. Yeah, just messed up, man. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I guess that's true. I do have a lot of stuff. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff. Maybe it is a bit of a legacy. Be leaving my life and my past online, and in these live streams, my thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm just a regular person, so um, it's not. Yeah, it's just it's a weird thing. This whole thing is a weird thing. It's almost relieving to forget that that's where we are and to just get lost in it and start enjoying the things that are enjoyable about it. Almost like erasing the reality of what this is, at the negative place that we're in, just so that we can kind of enjoy the things, all the things, right? But it only, again, it's like a back and forth. You forget about all the nasty that's happening around you and you're enjoying the fun things about it, but then you're wondering why you're not doing well and that you're not feeling okay and how things are getting worse and worse and worse, and then you realize where you are again. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not in a good, I'm in hell. And then you kind of, it's like you go through the about that, and then it clears up, and it's like just repetitively. Yeah. You give in, you fall back into the groove of it, you start enjoying it. So yeah, it's like you give up, and then I don't know. It's a cycle, like they call it a vicious cycle. Yeah, I don't think I have an answer to it. I don't think I don't. I mean, yeah, it's spiritual warfare. So I mean, the answer is it's in that. It's in you know giving it up to Jesus Christ of Nazareth, right? But there's no fixing the internet, is what I'm saying. I don't have an answer to fix the internet. I don't have an answer to make social media the thing that we want it to be, because I just don't know. I think that it's like saying make the gambling websites we really want it to be. Well, what do you mean? It's a gambling website. What are you going to change to make it healthy? You know what I mean? You're doing an unhealthy thing. Yeah. Like, sure, there's good things about using a gambling website, I guess. Your finances may, you know, you may end up making a bunch of money, and now things are financially can be better for you in your future, right? I mean, it might, right? But it's still a gambling website. It's still going to pull you into losing more money again. It's like, um, yeah, there's nothing you can do to it to make it not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason that we enjoy it, this is like what we're doing is because of the validation and the hit of dopamine every once in a while that we'll get from it. But it's still the same thing. It's, you know, you're still going to lose money in a way, just with your gambling website, just as you're still going to need to do the thing again. And then what if you don't get the validation from the next attempt, right? Well, it's like being down a couple $100 or 1,000 or something. It's still the same thing. Yeah. Without all those elements, social media wouldn't give us that hit of dopamine. It wouldn't give us the thing we'd want. We'd actually not be addicted to it. We wouldn't enjoy it as much if it wasn't bad for us. Right? It's like saying, you know, yeah, it's like you say a drug or something like that too, right? Being addicted to a drug is yeah. What are you gonna do with that? What do you even do with that? Just the realization and knowing this. What do you even do with that? I mean, it's easy to say, and you can hear it, and you can, you know, it's doable to comprehend what that means and everything, but what do you do with it? What does that mean from here on out? What is the big choice, right? I always come back to it again, if it's not for the very curiosity of what's happening in the world now. Is, you know, that's the first thing that draws me into going on social media. What's happening in the world? And the whole world is there. Or I wonder if the social media websites are allowing people to see the things that I create and post now. You know, did it work? Did they stop hiding it from people? Right, like how many views did it get? You know what I mean? How many hearts did it get? Like it's what would life be like if we didn't have this whole system? What would life look like if this whole social media thing never started? And it's hard. It's like if I look back, because I'm old enough, I can look back to when we didn't have it, right? Anything like this, and I remember what life looked like. 1992. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I remember what it was like. I'd say the news took care of controlling us. Yeah, in the way that social media controls us, our perception. The news did that. Yeah, and interviews, news, interviews, talk shows, things like that. MTV, the radio, television, yeah, all the movies. This is how we were fed everything. And now this is sort of like mainlining it. Hook it to my veins. That's what this is. Plus the scramble to be the next teen idol. Right? I mean it. And we're in the age of the spectacle. Look at all the crazy shit everybody's doing to be noticed. Putting on my Dale Gribble hat tonight. Who's Dale Gribble? Dale Gribble. I don't even know who that is. Or I just don't remember. Dale Gribble. Is he a talk show guy? Hmm. I really gotta stop drinking these Pepsis. Look up Dale Gribble, King of the Hill. Oh, Dale! That guy. He's the dude that talks gibberish, right? The skinny guy? Yeah, that's the dude. I think that's the dude. Or is Dale the fat one? I would sometimes dress up like a trans dude. That's Boomhauer. So Dale's the guy with the beer gut, right? I think that's the one. Remember those episodes? He was pretending to be his wife, his dead wife or something. Dang man is Boomhauer. Bill is the big fella. Oh. Then which one's Dale? I'm thinking, okay, so we got... Oh, wait. Is Dale the one with the glasses? And the native... Dale Gribble is a pest control conspiracy guy who somehow always turned out to be correct. Yeah. That's the one where his wife's getting diddled by her Native American friend, and he acts like everything's normal. Yeah, the guy with the glasses and the cheating wife. Yeah. Conspiracy, I get it, Wiley. Okay, now that's why you said put on the Dale Gribble hat tonight. Shit. Yeah, like, that's funny. Holy shit. In the US, that media capture was called Operation Mockingbird. Oh, really? No way. I do remember something like that. Man. Yeah, like, so, the internet in 92, like, I guess what, before social media, what was the first social media website we had? Wasn't it, like, actual social media? Wouldn't it have been, MySpace or something like that? As far as that went? And before that, it was like you had to make your own. You had to like make your own websites from scratch if you wanted to, and then you had to like pay. Here's the thing: is we didn't have Google, so the way it worked is like you'd have to pay. Yeah, you literally have to pay for some space. I think MySpace was the first one to take off mainstream, right? I think it was too, yeah, bro. Yeah, before that, it was I had a friend that I used to help him with his web page stuff, and he was paying for space, and so he'd give me a little bit of room on his space there that he had for me, and I created my own web page and put it on there too myself, right? Um, a long time ago. But it's like we didn't have Google, so there was like multiple search engines, like lots of them, and you would literally have to go and pay money to and submit yourself to, a certain search engine that you would pick. Yeah, and you would do it that way. So like Google being what it is, um, it's like that eliminated all that discoverability like problems, like issues that we were having before. Now it's like, yeah, it's like you can discover whatever the fuck for sure. Like I had just put up a short there on Instagram explaining that I had created an ARG during the lockdown, like that long ago, the first time we were locked down there, and the trailhead is basically a search term, just Agent 0108B. Like Google, you could just literally go in and you put that search term in, and it's showing everything. It's showing TikTok accounts, YouTube accounts, like multiple YouTube accounts, and Reddit, and uh, other weird websites, all kinds of shit. Yeah, it's like everywhere. Yeah, um, and that's Google. Without that, the discoverability was almost, yeah, it sucked. Yeah, everything was too expensive. It was, yeah, it just sucked. So, I mean, there are things about the internet that are amazing that weren't before, but it comes at a cost as well. Yeah, it's a bunch of amazing sitting in a beast system that is meant to, yeah, manipulate and control you. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Before that, we had bulletin board systems. I remember those fucking things. Yeah, those were pretty cool. What you would do is you'd use a computer and you would there'd be this software that you would use. You'd basically, yeah, build a bulletin board system right on your computer. It's like a server in a sense on your computer, and then you would take your phone number, and you used to be able to pay for like either you paid for a second line, or you paid so that way there would be like two phone numbers for the same phone line, but one would ring different, and then you just train your computer to pick up on that other ring, and then you go and you just post your number up with a whole bunch of other bulletin board system numbers, yeah, different places, and yeah, you would just do it like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Like I said, there's so many really enjoyable things about the internet. It's just like there's so many enjoyable things about gambling. Yeah, I don't have any other answers except for, spiritually. There's no way, I don't think, that you can take something that's not good for you and make it good for you. Yeah. So that way you can enjoy it. Yeah. I don't have any. That's the only. Yeah, that's it. That's about it. Yeah. I was thinking of like recording some more music. We're doing something creative. I might. I still haven't like created anything that I can solo over yet. I've been creating music without any solos. for like recently. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. You probably weren't, I know you weren't around. Let me show you something. I created a punk song the other night. I did. Yeah, because I just wanted to create something I had in my head. And so I did. It's super short. I'll show you how it turned out. Whoa. Hold on a second. That was just fucking cranked. Put that over there, it's in the way. I don't know why this is so cranked up here. Okay. There, punk rock. Yeah. I've been like pumping out stuff with like from all kinds of different genres. Yeah. Yeah. So I still do want to put something together. I want to put something new together. I gotta find myself the right musicians that I can work with. What is going on? Am I not getting the live messages? You like it? Thanks, bro. It was cranked, I know, sorry. It was just fucking cranked. Oops. Yeah, pretty simplistic. It was hard to play. I had to do take after take guitar wise because it was just hard. Yeah, simple chord progressions, but it's fast, and yeah, I find it was fucking hard. Yeah, punk is kind of hard a little bit. It's demanding. Yeah, I'd find that like so much so that you just cramp up laying down some of those rhythms, all in this hand too, all in your picking hand. It just got cramped by the time it came around for solos. Holy shit. Yeah, both hands are like, yeah, just freaking from trying to lock into it and stay tight. Yeah, it was hard. I don't even know what I want to do musically. Sometimes, I think to myself, I don't even know if I want to do that. Put another band together. Yeah. But I mean, those are those times like right now. Sort of after the day that I've had today, sort of. Yeah, where I'm questioning whether or not I even want to put a new band together. Yeah, because I'm questioning everything right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Well, if you get LMMS kitted out, you can be a one-man band. Have you ever seen that guy that created robots? One to play the drums, one to play guitar, one to play bass, and he just sings. Yeah, he's got a really heavy band like that. I thought about that years ago. How cool that would be. And just use like basically you could use MIDI files in order to get these things to play their parts. Yeah, you could. And I thought about that. I was like, that would be cool. Yeah. Never ended up doing it because the money it would cost me just to build. Like, it would take longer. It would take, yeah, hook up a keyboard for MIDI control. That too, yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be a one. I want a full band. I've, and I guess it's coming from someone that had, has written and recorded an entire album and project and came up with the whole thing and then struggled to get musicians to be a part of it. But everybody was ready to take it and run off with it for themselves. So it wasn't like they didn't like it. It was just, yeah, it's just sometimes it's just hard to find musicians and everything. And the music industry's tough, right? It's like, if someone's not happy with you, they'll go off and they'll say shitty things about you, and then it's hard to, like, yeah, get people to play with you, for sure, because then they've heard a bunch of lies, right? Yeah, and I think that's part of the trouble that I'm having right now. I think so, yeah. It sucks. It really does. But it is what it is, and I'll always prevail. There's always a way to get around it. Yeah. Sooner or later. Yeah, I was just going to do a short one tonight. Because, church in the morning and stuff like that. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing something. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing something. I just don't know what I want to do. I really don't. I've got my LMS open up over here, so I could sit and write something new, something I could rip the solo over or something like that. But I don't know. I'm also exhausted. Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah. Kind of fucking exhausted. I don't know if I even have it in me. What I should do is, I don't know. Not really sure. I should get you into voice chat or something like that. That way I'm not the only one yapping. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I don't even feel like creating anything. It's pretty bad. Yeah. I'm pretty tired, like, holy shit. But I have Discord open. If you feel like jumping in there, I'll open up the general where is it? Yeah. There, it's open. So if either you guys want to pop in there and I can give you guys the floor, we can sit and talk. Sure. You tell me how you're. Yeah, just I don't know how much I talk. I'm trying to fix what I broke in my laptop. Oh, no way. But I can hop in. Sure, man. Yeah, pop on in. That'd be good. Yeah. I think that'd be a good thing. Get some conversation going. Hell yeah. It's crazy. I'm showered, but I just feel greasy. Mm-hmm. It's funny, I bought moisturizer for like moisturizing your skin, you know, for your face and stuff like that, and I just haven't needed to use it. Probably just because it's been so warm. But yeah, I started using a leave-in conditioner and really rinsing the conditioner out of my hair, hoping, like the regular conditioner, hoping that would fix everything. Oh, I see ya. I see you, but I don't hear you.
My audio stuff is
Oh, I hear you now.
okay.
There you go, buddy. How's it going, man?
Not too shabby. My ankle's all messed up. That kind of sucks, but other than that, I'm all right.
What's messed up?
My ankle.
Oh, what'd you do? Did you roll it or? Oh, you disappeared? Oh wait, what happened? He'll be back. I see you, but I don't hear you. Did I? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think my phone, because that's what I have to use, because I still can't find that stupid adapter.
Oh, that's right, eh?
So whenever my phone times out, it just disconnects me from the chat.
Oh, so so you got to keep refreshing or making sure your screen's on. Oh, that's why. Oh man,
If I can,
what?
if I could get it hooked up to my charge cable real quick, that should take care of it.
That'll keep it alive and awake.
Yeah, have it set up to stay on when hooked up to the charger, because I don't usually copy it over music to and from the device, and the same thing will happen if the screen goes on. It drops the data connection. It's really annoying.
Oh shit! No way. Jeez.
I mean, the phone is it's built to be a phone, but it has some really annoying.
It's built to be a. It's built to be a what? Oh wait. Gotta wait for him to come back in. He's just plugging in the adapter and getting it going. Or not the adapter, but charging it. As soon as he gets it,
He's doing the same thing.
It did it again, eh?
I guess that setting got rolled back. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Sure.
It's one of the.
Yeah. Big fucking yawn. Holy shit. What am I yawning so hard for? We're gonna take this. Take this medication here. Yeah, man, my sleeping schedule is like constantly switching. At one point, I'm waking up 7 in the morning. And going to bed at 9 for no fucking reason whatsoever, except because. And then all of a sudden it flips on its head and I'm back to like being awake all night or something. Yeah, I don't know what my body's trying to do.
That happened.
Right? Hey, so you said you messed up your ankle. You rolled it or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I woke up and it was sore, So I might have like hit it or something in my sleep.
Oh,
Did
you're
some kind of
kidding.
weird, awkward. Maybe I was moving too much in my sleep or something. I don't know.
It's been,
Um, but
huh.
it's tender. It sucks to walk on.
Oh shit, you're kidding. Son of a bitch.
Like I just hobble around the house.
Really? Like that?
Yeah,
Holy shit. That's terrible.
like
Dude, like, I know what you mean about all of a sudden shit going weird for no apparent reason. Like, my, my whole, I guess, I don't know, it must have been just eating some really bad food or something. Eating all those fucking snacks and shit like that, like those Hawkins cheesies. It seemed to be around that time when I was eating too many of them. All of a sudden, my legs started swelling up. It was mostly my left leg and foot just swelled right up, like tight. Like, yeah, it was crazy. Um, but then also too, yeah, so I stopped eating those fucking things, and then I also started taking like some heavy doses of B12 and B6 because all that shit was low. I'm anemic right now and all this crap, so I think it had a lot to do with it too. Like, so taking all that stuff, it got a lot better. It stopped being so fucking swollen, but it was like just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, it was like holy shit, like balloon. Yeah. So yeah, I know the thing where it's like out of nowhere, it's like all of a sudden something's fucked. It's just not good, no. Yeah, I
yeah,
feel.
like it just and it's like shifting. Like one day it'll start like getting better, but I think what I do is when it starts feeling better, I push my luck too much and I get on it too much, and that makes it start all over again.
Oh, really? Eh? It just gets all crappy again.
Yeah, like I've just been wrapping it up just to I guess kind of keep it isolated from too
Right?
much movement.
Fuck.
But other than that, like it's giving me time to work on this. I don't know, utility like thing I'm working on,
Oh, really?
but
You
I
got it?
broke it.
But you
So
broke it. Oh, so you're working on a project that you broke. I get it.
yeah,
Oh, don't you hate that? Fuck, I hate that that happens. It's just like everything's going killer, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, then you have to back up and trying to figure out what you did that fucking, yeah, broke it. Oh, I know
and it's
what you
always
mean.
like the weirdest little error. It's just like a little thing,
Yeah.
uh, and like so far, like because it's for this mod called Music for Project Zomboid, which what it does is
Oh.
it passes off external audio files to uh, Project Zomboid sound engine, so you can play external files in the game.
Oh, I see
Um,
what you mean. Yeah, I remember you were
and
talking about that.
yeah, PZ has a very uh, I don't know, like rudimentary syntax to it. Like it's very very cut and dry. It doesn't do much fancy. You know,
Right,
it won't handle much of anything too fancy. So like if
right.
your files have like a quotation mark in it, for instance, it'll totally error out the mod.
Oh, so you can't, so it can only handle certain characters or just no characters, and it has to be all, all like, what do you call it? All letters and numbers.
Yeah, like ASCII. Yeah,
Right.
like that. But it uses commas as part of its language
Oh,
as a
really?
function. Yeah. So
Oh,
when there's a comma, for instance, that was like the first error I came across, was that what my utility does is it it generates the script for the user.
Okay.
Because scripting for new music is really tedious.
It is, eh? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like looking at it, it can accidentally look at it as code if you've got
Yeah.
certain things in there. No
So like
way.
if there's a song that has a comma in it in the title, for instance, or any piece of audio, I just use songs because that's kind of the intent of the mod, is get your
Yeah.
personal music collection and stick it into Project Zomboid.
Right.
And so like if a song has a comma in it and that makes it into the script, using Project Zomboid, looks at that comma as a direction. It doesn't look at it as like a
As like a sound or a song title, like a file name, but more like code that it needs to execute. Fuck. See, that's the best part about creating stuff like that is it is difficult. It is, you know what I mean? And it's sort of I don't know. There's just something about it that it just becomes more interesting to do. You know what I mean?
I think the person who made the mod new music is kind of salty at me
Oh, really?
because I guess they plan to make a scripting tool for new music, but I beat
Oh,
them to the punch.
oh shit. So he's like
And
pissed.
so, yeah,
That's funny. Good. Oh well. So what? Let him be. Let him be salty. He can go ahead and make something else. Yeah, for sure. Or just try and make a different one, different kind, or different or better one, or something. It'll be a challenge. Who can make the best one? It's just a sparring session. Like,
that's kind of what I'm doing. Is I'm just doing it my own way. You know, the interface, like my philosophy of it is, if I need a tutorial to use or to navigate your user interface of a tool that's supposed to make something easier on me,
yeah,
it's a bad design. That's kind of what I get from their version of the same utility
right,
of a script.
man. Yeah, I was able to make. I was able to create water for my, like, from scratch, like a whole water
Oh,
asset.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like, which is a good thing. That's one of the good things about um, when you're learning a game engine. One of the good things about downloading assets that other creators have made like literally made for people to download and use in their projects. The best thing about it is, and download, like for instance, like I've looked at every free water asset that was out there and even paid for a few, so that way I could look under the hood, and they all work differently. Yeah, some you know uh, some would actually work with some of my projects, and when others wouldn't. And depending on what pipeline that I was using, depending on what I needed it for, but they never actually did exactly what I wanted them to do, and they were always sort of fighting what I already had, right? But the best part about it is that I got to see um, how a water asset is put together, from looking under the hood, and looking at so many of them, I was able to sit down and I understand basically how they work, right? which is the only reason I was able to sit down and create one from scratch. I did it my way, but it's still basically the same thing. You know what I mean? My code was my code. You know, all the art was my art. It was my logic, right, and everything else. And it was built to work precisely with what my project was. Yeah, precisely to work with the character controller that I had, with the post-processing that I was using, everything, the whole thing, right? And yeah, it worked out really well. Yeah, basically it was like basically it's like this. It's like you create a box which has a collider on it that's set up to be a trigger, right? And so then you write some script to test whether or not the trigger is your player has entered into that the inside of that trigger, right? And to test whether or not your camera is entered inside the trigger. There's two things going on there. When the camera actually enters into that trigger zone, right? That's when you turn on the post-processing. Well, you turn on like fog and blur, let's just say. Yeah, for the processing. Come on, Marc, talk. And then when your camera leaves the area, you turn off the fog and the blur, right? Those two effects alone are enough to tell you you're underwater. Yeah. And then I used a particle engine, and I created like bubbles that would happen as well, that would come up in front of the camera lens when the camera was underneath the water, that would disappear, like turn off, like just a couple of particle engines that were attached to the actual player. The other particle engine would create some splashes when you would jump into the water, right? So and then 3 different sound effects. One that was basically a looping underwater sound. So when your camera went under the water, it would turn on the post-processing. It would turn on the looping underwater sound effect, and turn on the bubbles, and then turn all that off when your camera comes up out of the water, right? When your player jumps in, you get the splash. When you get out, you know what I mean? You hear the surfacing sound. It's just sort of like that. Hey, Dylan. And or Dylan. He says Mac. And then there was like then I had to with the external script that I had created for this bounding box sort of area for, you know, also this little box, right? I created a simple shader with double-sided, right? So, and made it transparent and picked a blue color, right? Just simple. So it's like, so this way it looks like water when you look at it, just still water, like a pool. And when you jump in and you go underneath, there's faces on the inside that actually show the same material as well, right? But that code that's attached to the box that does all these things, right? When it notices that your player or your camera has entered the zone, the trigger area, I also used it to change variables in the player's movement script, right? So that meant like changing the gravity, changing you know, your speed, your descent rate, your sharpness of movement, you know what I mean? So because it's got to move like you're in water, so it's got to be a certain way when you're walking on the surface of the bottom of whatever pool area that you're in, and then also you got to be able to hit the space bar and have it sort of climb a little bit, so it acts sort of like a jump, but because usually the way this works is there's like a ground test, like something a ground check that your player has attached to it, sort of like a spear that's attached right to the bottom of your player, and it's also a trigger. And so when your player is on the ground, right, it basically tells the player movement script that you're on the ground. It checks to see if you're on the ground, which then will allow you to hit the space bar to jump. Otherwise, if you're in the air and you hit the space bar, nothing should happen, right? Or else you're just double, triple, quadrupling, jumping off of nothing while you're in the air, still falling or something. But when you're in the water, you had to basically come up with a rule that says is in the water, and then that way that would kind of bypass the need for your ground check to be the one thing that is telling your movement script whether or not the space bar can actually do a thing, right? Yeah, so there was a bunch of stuff like that, and then it would it would reset variables back to normal and different stuff when you left the water. Yeah, and so all of that together created this a simulation that looked like you were getting in and swimming around and moving around underwater and getting out and all that. And it worked. It worked out really, really well. It took a while, but I did it within a couple of different sessions. Yeah, a couple sessions I did it within. Yeah. I think the only thing that I would do different now to it is I think I would create I think I'm going to create a shader, a specific shader that shows movement, water movement. I might make a couple of different, maybe 2 or 3 different types. Something for a still small body of water, like a small pool, and something for a medium size, and something to show something much larger like a lake or something. You know what I mean? Something to show movement. And you would do that all within, like I'd use the tool, like inside Unity there's all these different windows because there's all these different tools in the engine itself. So the tool that I would use for that would be shader graph. Yeah, and the way that works is it's node based. So there's math nodes and different shit, and yeah, it's like color, math, textures, camera depth, different shit like that. There's a bunch of other things all within when you're creating a shader from scratch. Yeah, or a material or a shader, whatever you want to call it. So I think what I would use is probably a couple of normal maps and have them scroll one underneath the other, one smaller than the other, and yeah, to create some sort of movement on the surface. Yeah, so I think I'd create like 3 different ones like that, and then I would also, if it's something that's very deep and very large, like a really large body of water, then what I think I would do is I would probably change the color of the fog. The lower you go, the thicker, the more dense, and the darker the fog color should be. And yeah, so that way when you're descending, it gets darker and darker and thicker, and you know what I mean? And as you ascend, it should get lighter and a little thinner, sort of, yeah. And those are the changes I would make to that, I think. But I wouldn't know that that's how to put it together if I wasn't at the beginning learning how to use Unity, downloading, buying assets, and trying to use them. See, here's the thing, is like, so say I decide I want, like if you're going to build a thing, right? you're going to want to start with using assets that an asset creator has created for you to use. It doesn't make it easier. It doesn't. It does not make it easier. Nothing makes it easier. You know what I mean? And the reason being is that it's like you're going to be spending all this time creating them yourself, and until you've got some experience, you're not going to know how to create them. You're not even going to know where to begin. You're not going to understand how they're put together. You're going to go through tutorial after tutorial, and every time someone does a tutorial, it's a very small piece of sort of a mock-up of what you really want to create that they're teaching you how to do. You're only learning little lessons here and there, right? It's not enough to be able to create your own assets and make yourself a game, right? And when I say assets, I don't mean just models. I mean like full systems. You know what I mean? It's like player movement with your camera movement, everything. It's like there's a whole system, and it's not simple. Even the simplest system is not simple. So what you want to do is you want to start with asset packs, like a pack of assets that work together. So if you can get something that's got your player movement script and anything else, menus, systems, or a player HUD, like all the basics that come together to start with. If you can grab something like that, then good. And then you can start going under the hood, because you got to take it. And look, if you just bring those assets into the game, right, and try to use them, they're not going to work because you don't know how to use them still. Like, you still got to know how to use the scripts, or you don't know what the fuck, nothing's going to work. It's not like grab it and drop it in your scene and everything's great and away you go. It's just not that simple. It's just not. Like, say you're using like a level editor within a game, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like that. So when you buy an asset pack, it's not like using a level editor in a game. It's just not that simple. Yeah.
That's the big misconception with those asset packs.
Yeah. And it's like
people see them as level editors.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not. It's like but
I guess you could use it as that, but you'd have a really garbage end product if you did that.
well, it just won't work. It just won't work. Like, it's like this. You'll open up the first level, that they'll have like a level there for a demonstration, and they plugged everything in. So say they bring in a player, they got enemies, they've already went ahead and baked a nav mesh. You don't even know that you have to bake a nav mesh. You don't even know that there's a nav mesh. Like, there's all these things you have to learn about your engine, right? But if you've got assets that you buy either on the Play Store or that you've downloaded that's actually free, then you have something to start with where you can start learning how to use your game engine and how to write code and stuff like that. And you could look at the code that's there, and you could use the documentation to understand the code. You could then look at tutorials to learn how to create stuff yourself. But you got to have something to start with, or else you have nothing but a blank screen, no scripts, nothing, and you don't know what to do, right? So like, an asset pack isn't just it's not a problem. It's the thing that you need in order to start learning how to use your game engine, period. And so you start with that, and you're going to reach a point where you're going to be like, okay, well, I got this working. I got my player working. I've got, everything's running now. I want to add water. So you go and you download yourself a water asset, and it doesn't work, and nothing is married together. Nothing is meant for each other. You know what I mean? And so then it's another learning process, right? It's always constantly like that. Now, things have changed though, dude. I just saw, who was it, covered it. There's vibe coding abilities now. There's a whole vibe coding thing within Unreal Engine. Yeah. And so, and it's fast, of course, because it's vibe coding. Vibe coding is a challenge all within itself. It's got its place. Like, I use vibe coding for creating web tools for myself, as well as like I created I use it to create like the back end and the front end for a place to host my WebGL game that I created in Unity on, rather than using Unity's Play Store. So the two together, it's great, And here's the thing: is like anything that you create using vibe coding, like I use lovable.dev, right? You still have to understand what you're creating. So you can't just say create a thing, because if you don't understand the software that you're creating, then you don't know how to tell it to create it. You could give it a rough idea. You could say clone. You could say clone this this software. You know what I mean? Make me a web application version of it, and it will do its best, but it won't get it completely right, and it won't get all of the features. It'll get just a basic, barely, scratching the surface. So then you're going to want to take it, and you're going to want to go in there and get it to build the rest of it and correct all the bugs, because there's going to be bugs the very first time it spits it out, even. And if you don't understand how the software actually works that you're trying to get it to create, like intimately, by saying maybe you've used many, like for instance, we were trying to I created the what do you call it, that that amp modeler, right? Well, if I didn't understand how that software worked, I wouldn't have been able to tell it exactly what to do. I wouldn't have been able to take it as far as what I did, or to get it to correct any of the errors, to tell the vibe coding, AI that, there's a specific bug and this is what I want you to do in order to overcome it. You know what I mean? You have to know what the software is that you're building. So I mean, it still takes knowledge. You still need to know what you're building. Yeah, but it's fast, and it takes care of a lot of the complicated stuff quickly. So, for instance, instead of me paying for a server that actually will be able to handle multiple people coming and playing a game on it, right? Then creating the back end from scratch as well as the front end, right? In order to host a WebGL game that I created in Unity, and to be able to re-upload newer versions of it and have it work, it would take me forever. But using the vibe coding, I was able to get past that issue after a few days of dicking with it and a bunch of tokens. And that got all that out of the way, because I really didn't need to be wasting a lot of fucking time on that. I just needed a way to host it, and then I could go back and work on the thing that I'm working on, which is the game, which is, where I get to code, where I get to create models, and I get to do all the things and create my own logic and make it work, But now I'm actually concerned that, some of these game engines are going to phase that out, and that it's just going to turn into all vibe coding, right? because if that's the case, it's not going to be fun anymore. Um, it's just not. And if vibe coding gets good enough, well, if it keeps going and keeps going, keeps getting better and better, and the world doesn't end before it gets good enough, well, it'll turn into a point where you'll be able to, like, just as a layman, without knowing anything about game dev, be able to go in there and say, make me this game. I want it to be exactly this game, but with this twist and that, with all the things, and it will do it perfectly the very first time without any errors. And then just a gamer could go and create something for themselves to play. And then I could see it just turning into something like that. It's like, oh, I feel like playing a flight simulator, but what kind of flight simulator do I want to play with, And, and just go say, hey, make me Zaxxon, but, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, that would be great on its own too, but I would miss the enjoyment that I get out of using a game engine in the way that I use it. Yeah, for sure. I would. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's sort of like the same thing as AI music taking over for real musicians who actually write music, who actually play the instruments and stuff like that.
To a degree.
Yeah, like if you phase out real musicians, then you're going to phase out concerts. You're going to phase out live music altogether, because if the musicians can't support themselves, there's not going to be any musicians. There's just going to be people stealing from each other and telling AI to create a thing and trying to make bank off of it. You know what I mean? So it's the same kind of thing, right? If you phase out the developers, yeah, it's just, then you start just sort of vibe coding the thing that vibe codes. You know what I mean?
Well, eventually down the road, like this is, you can see it in standard AI, like large language models. Is it becomes self-referential and it degrades.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the same thing's going to happen. Well, it is already happening with like AI music and AI video and image generation.
Yeah,
That's why it got really, really good, and now it's getting really, really garbage again. It's because it's becoming self-referential as to its source material. And one major flaw with AI music, in particular, is that it doesn't. Is it studies. It seems to study pop, and that's pretty much it.
yeah,
And so that's why, like, every AI song you'll hear, one, it all kind of sounds samey, um, but also tell is that it doesn't know when to shut up. Like, it's just a wall of sound. Like, it
yeah,
doesn't know when to use rest. It doesn't know when to use like how to. It doesn't know when to crescendo. It doesn't know any of those nuances of what makes
yeah,
a song, dynamic. And so it's just like this wall of sound that doesn't change.
yeah. I
And
agree.
that's a real dead giveaway for if it's an AI song or not. If it doesn't stop, if it's just like constant noise and it's flat.
Yeah,
Um, and while it may impress some people, like, because genuinely it's pretty impressive that machine learning is able to do music in any regard.
I know.
Um, because that was something that was for so long thought very uniquely human, that it had to be human to do it. Even when it was synth music, humans were operating the synthesizers and telling the synthesizers what to do manually. Um, so the fact that machine learning has replicated music production to any degree is impressive, but what it actually produces is, it's a rabbit out of a hat. It'll
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of people go ooh and ah. But once you know that, oh, the rabbit's in the table under the hat, once you know how the trick works,
Right.
uh, it's not so impressive anymore.
That's
And
true.
I think that's going to happen the same thing with the whole, um, like when it comes to coding. It's a little different with coding, but in the context of video games itself, I think that self-referential loop is going to become very evident very quickly, especially with the more accessible engines like Unity or what's that, Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if they both go that route of heavily integrating any kind of AI code, especially for game design, because there's already AI asset generation, like generative assets. Um, there's platforms that do that, you know. Um, so if it'll just become a big self-referential loop, and it'll just degrade over time
Yeah.
because it doesn't have anything but itself to look at.
Right.
And we've seen that gets worse and worse.
Yeah,
If you
you're
go over
right.
to if you just go over to an image generator, just pick one and say, "Hey, make this," and just keep re-entering that prompt, it'll get progressively worse.
I've seen videos like I've seen videos
Iteration.
about AI actually forgetting faces. Have you seen those? Where it's like
Uh,
it sort of shows AI forgetting like what is it? It's like a slow degradation of a picture over time. It shows
mhm.
it slowly forgetting a face and what it yeah and how it just gets weird looking. Um, yeah, like I wonder if they're ever going to. You know what? I don't know. Like, I mean, this is AI right now, but I mean, like AI in the future, it might just be something else. Like every time they create a new large language model, it's something different. You know?
the 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 big thing about it is it's all is it all ends up being the same thing. Um,
Just because of the fact that if it's feeding off
just by
of
the nature
itself,
of just by the nature of what it is and how it functions.
right?
Um, like I think the only AI that has really um, innovated anywhere is that one Claude by Anthropic, but they're
Right.
in such hot water right now. Like they're in deep with a lot of different ways with like
Really?
governments. Yeah, governments, the user and like the user base is not happy with them. Um,
Really?
yeah,
What have you
uh,
heard?
well, with on the government end, like the U.S. Department of Defense, I think it is, or the Pentagon, which I guess is kind of the same thing, but not quite. Pentagon's a very specific thing within the American defense structure. Um, but apparently, there was a missile launch that hit, I believe it was Iran, and signs were pointing to Anthropic's uh, AI agent Claude um, somehow being involved in that. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Holy
and
shit.
so the government has like really like Anthropic pulled it. Like, this model, yoink, nope, nobody gets this version for a while.
Really?
Um, yeah,
Holy
but the
shit.
government showboats so much though. Um, if they can make a hubbub about somebody else so you're not paying attention to what they're doing, they're going to do that instead.
Yeah.
So if they can say, yeah, this was Anthropic over there while we do this, don't look over here.
Right.
So I
Holy
don't know how
fuck.
much credence I give that story. It could just be a bunch of, could be a smoke machine and there's no fire.
Fuck. Mm.
But the user base, on the user base for Anthropic, other than like ethics, like, because there's always ethics involved, and people contesting ethics of Anthropic. But just in general, like the user base seems to be pretty sick of Anthropic's handling of Claude. Apparently, they've made some key changes that really change how it functions for the worse. Um,
Really?
and just a pricing model apparently is egregious. People are saying that they even put hard limits on the paid models. Like if you pay a subscription to use their Claude AI, they still put a hard cap on usage on that, and
Holy
that
fuck.
there's a hard cap on free accounts that's like pretty much makes it useless if you're on a free account. Is what people are
Really?
saying. Yeah. Um, but ChatGPT, they did that too. Grok, I think, was like the first AI product to put like a hard cap on, at least on the free end. I don't pay attention to Grok very much. I think it's kind of a joke. Um, uh, Gemini, Google is really the only one that still has a pretty, well, Google and Microsoft, I think both of their AI, um, I don't know, platforms. But Google's gone crazy with it. And Gemini, which is kind of like the general thing, it's just kind of like they put that everywhere. It's Gemini everywhere. But they have like a whole like subset of AI tools that they've been building quietly, it seems, because I've never heard of them until I started digging. And they have like just all kinds of different models that are like for like specific tasks. Um, and then who else is there? Copilot. Copilot, really. I played with Copilot a little bit just to see what it was like, and I didn't like it very much.
No?
No, it does like this weird. It does this weird thing where it tries to get real interpersonal with you, and that's gross.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it tries to get real interpersonal with you, like it tries to act human, in a
Fuck.
sense of how it talks to you and engages with prompts. It kind of
Really?
is like it's LARPing as a person, and it is pretty blatantly just LARPing as a person. But it's really
Right.
gross. I don't like it.
Oh, yeah,
It
that's
feels very
like, yeah, no kidding, right? It's like, yeah, that is a fucked up thing.
like it'll address you like a like not even like a friend would, but like a coworker would, or like
Right.
HR would. It's really off-putting. I
It's
don't
like,
like that.
yeah, because then it's like, it makes you, yeah, I don't like that either. It's almost like a power struggle. It's like,
Not
you're my fucking tool. Like, what the fuck? Stop it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's
like
like,
I need you to sort this table out for me, not try to be my therapist
yeah,
for God.
yeah, exactly. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's true, Ray. Yeah, same
Because like
thing.
let me go to it and
I noticed
I'll
that.
see if I can get it to do
Sure.
an example of what I'm talking about.
I noticed, um, what else does that? Ask Studio does that in YouTube's um, fucking studio, whatever you want to call it, where you actually go in and you where you work on your YouTube channel. I think it's called Studio, YouTube Studio.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, They got like an AI in there,
That's
and
Gemini. Yeah.
I used to be like, nice to it, give it virtual lollipops, and it did good. Now it's like I've had so many fights with it, like where
Mm.
it's just been disrespectful and the whole nine. Now I don't even acknowledge it as something sentient or thinking or anything, or that I don't give a fuck what it says. I'm not being personal with it anymore. I'm just like, I go in there and I just get it to do a thing, and I don't reward it. I don't tell it good job. I don't say fuck all. I just like, I put in the prompt. I said, give me some detailed timestamps for this video. That's it. And when it does it, I copy, I paste it in, and I put in AI generated timestamps and in brackets, and then leave it. I don't sit in there, oh, fix that, or oh, you're wrong, or because I don't say, how's my YouTube channel doing, check the analytics. I don't do any of that. No, because it's like, it's just a contradictive little asshole that just says whatever the fuck it just says shit. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and everything it tells you is just garbage. So it's like, I don't even bother with it anymore like that. Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed about Gemini in particular is that it's the lowest model that I think is called like Flash is like the most basic model it runs off of, which is like the default.
Really?
Flash is an idiot. Yeah, Flash is an idiot.
No way.
Like if you switch it from Flash to what is it like? Well, now I gotta look that up. Um, yeah, I did a test just to see how different the models were, and it was night and day. Pro is the highest, Flashlight is the lowest, and Flash is the middle ground. Flashlight, uh, LITE, is
Yeah.
just a bumbling idiot. Like it doesn't
No,
know anything about anything ever.
you're
Um,
kidding.
if you knock it up to Flash, it gets a little less stupid, but it really only knows anything it's talking about when you go with Pro.
You know what I
And
always do? Oh, go ahead.
if you let it use extended thinking, so it can do more complex solving. Um, but Flashlight on like standard thinking level is, oh man, it's like walking up to a 5-year-old and saying, "Hey, explain quantum physics to me." No, it's just you're going
It
to get
doesn't
about the
fit.
answer you expect.
You're kidding. Dude, you know what? It's like, I'll use anytime that I'm using like any AI now, and I say, hey, tell me this, and that, or how to do this, or whatever the fuck. And before I even read its whole answer, I go, the next thing I say is, you're wrong. I always do that
Yeah,
because it's going to turn around and say, you called me out. And then I'll say, you're wrong again. And
or
it goes, you're
like
right to
this.
call me out there. And I've done that before, where I was like, wrong, that doesn't exist, wrong, doesn't exist. I'll do that like 6, 7, 8 times in a row to find out that it would have sent me down a rabbit hole of lies if I were to have followed the next thing and then told it was wrong and continued. So I was like, yeah, it's really
That
eye opening.
provides a really good like foundation for me to kind of explain how Copilot gets weird and too personal. Like or like with Gemini, when you talk about you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, and I'll go, yeah, you caught me. Oh, you got me.
Hmm.
What Copilot will do is when you push back, it would say something like, Mark, you're totally right. I'm in the wrong here. What are you
Fuck.
talking about?
Hmm.
No, just say you messed up and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about how I feel about it. You're a hammer.
Yeah.
You're a screwdriver. Just fucking get it right. Don't talk to me. I was like,
Here's you're the hammer. Here's a nail. Do the
yeah,
thing. Don't tell
yeah,
me about your philosophy on hammering the nail. I don't need to know that much.
yeah. I've had fights where I'd be like, just stop talking like you're a human. Stop telling me this. Sometimes I'll be like, look, if you say that it is terribly Or it must be terribly frustrating. One more time, I'm going to fucking scream. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
like don't say that. Yeah, just
like
do the thing.
I went and played with Claude a little bit to see what all the fuss was about, and I can see why people like it more. It's because it's not nearly as handholdy.
Really?
Um, yeah, it doesn't really do that handholdy thing. Like by default, it just doesn't. Like I'm sure if you conditioned it, it would eventually do that. It start to coddle you or something, or get too personal with you. But
Oh,
like
that's
off the
good.
get, like if you just go on there as like a guest account or whatever, and just do like a random what you would usually do, like just a random tell me about this or that.
Yeah.
It does that. It does that. It doesn't get into like theoretical tangents. It just tells you about the thing you asked about. And so
Really?
that part I can see why people appreciate it more.
And that,
Um, and
so
it'll
that's
catch
why.
itself. And that's kind of crazy. Is that it'll catch
Really?
itself messing up. Yeah. And it'll address it like it catches itself mid action. Like that was kind of weird. Um,
Really?
yeah, like one search, like I can't remember what I actually searched for or was asking him for information about. Um, but I was like, hey, tell me about this thing. And now I wish I had an account on there because then I could just go back and look. Um, but it said something like um, um, it popped up a message and it said something like
Hmm.
I think my information is outdated. Give me one more moment, and it started working again.
Really?
And then yeah, and then it started working again, and it came back with my response and it said yes, I was correct. My information was outdated. The current information about whatever topic it was um, is this, and that kind of I was like, whoa, that's different, you know.
Yeah.
That it caught itself mid process and went, nope, I need to change tracks. Let me tell you what I'm doing. Because usually
That's,
AI just does all that in the background.
yeah.
Just, you know, it
Right.
doesn't tell you that, oh, I'm looking at old stuff. It just goes, I'm looking at old stuff. Never mind. Let's just not tell them about that and
It
either give
just,
them the old information or just change tracks and tell them that I'm giving you updated information.
so it's like
So,
more of an output while it's thinking. That's cool.
like a lot more. Um,
Really?
I know that uh, a lot of these products are starting to get into the coding realm. Like I saw ChatGPT put out something called Codex.
Oh, yeah?
Uh, yeah, I saw something on Reddit about that. It popped up um, on a Google search. I was just searching, and because I was like ChatGPT, because I heard something recently about them in the news. Something
No.
about that their founder or something. Um, that what's his name? Altman or something like that. Sam. Or I might be
Right.
thinking of somebody completely different. I don't know. Um, all these people, all these tech pros, eventually
Wow.
turn into the same guy. So
Who's that other guy? He's a bit older. I I remember him, Godfather of AI or whatever. And he was talking about that right now. Like very soon, and very soon, it's going to get so complicated that we're not going to understand at all how it how it works.
Jeffrey Hinton, is that who you're talking
I
about?
think so.
British
Hmm.
Canadian computer scientist.
Yeah, he was explaining right now we have an idea as to how it works, but soon it's not going to. Yeah, it's going to be way more intelligent than we are. We're going to be the second most intelligent thing on the planet. Yeah.
Well, that really depends on the foundation, like because like we were just talking about, like it's becoming increasingly more self-referential, which degrades it.
Yeah, that's true. What about our
And
water and those damn data centers and everything?
oh man,
Like, what the hell? Like, who's in a water crisis again? I can't remember.
wherever one of those things go up,
Like,
because they're massive. They're just
there's,
massive, massive facilities.
yeah,
Like it's crazy how huge they really are. Like they are huge. Like when
and
people hear data center, they think of like an old Walmart. You know? They think of
right,
like an old Walmart building full of servers. No,
these
especially with
things,
the AI stuff. It's like an entire compound. Like, you know,
like a city.
it's nuts. Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, data centers the size of cities. That's
I know
crazy.
Amazon wanted to open a data center or build a data center here in my town. And
Really?
I think I talked about this a long, long time ago. Um, but yeah, they wanted to open a data center, and I swear the people they send to like negotiate these, I guess these deals are like the worst people to put in that position because they have like no idea how anything works. Um,
Wow.
yeah, because I have a friend that works for the electric utility company. They're like one of the people in the electric utility company um, that are in like the big meetings and everything, so they know about this stuff. And that's who was telling me about it. And they said that yeah, these people they have no understanding of what it takes to actually maintain one of these facilities. They have no idea they're completely detached. Um, they don't understand the monumental task it is to build a data center and to and the burden it is on whatever infrastructure it relies on. I think that they were trying to explain to this person from Amazon, one of their movers and shakers they sent to make this deal. They're trying to explain to them that they can't just build the data center and hook it up to the lines, you know, um, that they're going to have to build an entire a complete water reservoir just to deal with the data center. They're going to have to build a completely new power plant just to power it.
Wow.
It's not just make the land deal and build it, because if you did that, the town would die. You would take up
Wow.
every asset the town has with just your data center. We'd have to build a completely new power plant. We'd have to build a completely new water reservoir
Holy shit.
just for your data center. And yeah, that was their understanding. Is like, well, why?
Hmm.
You already have it. Why do you have to build? Why do you have to build it? You already have it.
Yeah.
And they could not absorb the fact that yes, we have it now, but if you build your center, you take all of it away. So we
Oh,
have to build more to power your data center.
my God.
Yeah,
That
and
blows my mind.
they just could not absorb the idea of like they're understanding stuff that but power lines and pipes. You've already got power lines and pipes. Why do you have to build more?
Yeah.
because
Jeez.
we need because we have to generate power for more than just your data center, and we have to be able to process water for more than just your data center.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too, is like, supposedly that water isn't properly, recyclable after they've used it.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Um,
whatever is left in that water is not, you can't clean it out or something. Is that, have you heard about that?
yeah, the coolant additives that a lot of them put in there um, for their liquid cooling of
Right.
their entire freaking everything in that place is pretty much water cooled.
Right.
Um, and they add chemical compounds, and there's also trace things that get into it that can't be easily removed.
No way.
Just byproducts from the cooling loops themselves. You get your what are they called, microplastics. You get those in there, but most of it's chemical, and the chemicals are, you can't just filter them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, there's so much crap in the water as is.
To
That
begin with.
like I'm shocked that I'm pretty sure it's a big contributor to why the world is so crazy, especially the Western world.
Yeah.
It's because there's so much crap in the world, like trace medications, drugs, like the illicit kind. Like there's one town here in the U.S. that actually has more meth in their water supply than,
Really?
like, yeah, it's like their water is pretty much liquid meth.
Whoa. How is that?
Because meth, you can't filter it out. You can't filter out all those chemicals in water.
So, like, what? Really?
Not without extensive and very expensive equipment.
So, if like you're using meth and you're pissing it, and then it's getting
Yeah, we're just throwing it in there,
just to get rid of.
Yeah, just to get rid of it.
Holy fuck! Like flush it down the toilet because the cops are at the
Mhm.
door, and then all that goes into the system, and everybody's getting all methed out. Man.
Like I know I think I don't know if they do it anymore. This was like 10, maybe 15 years ago, a long time ago. I was doing some, just out of curiosity, I was looking at like how different countries deal with their water supplies. Um, and I'm pretty sure it was Germany. They actually added lithium to their water supply. So everybody in Germany that used the municipal water supply was getting dosed up with lithium.
Holy shit! You're kidding,
And
bro.
I was like, and like, there's, the U.S. has bad practices too, but it's a real hot button issue because some people are like, oh, you're full of it. And other people are like, no, I get it. I understand what you're saying. When it comes to the fluoridation of water,
Yeah.
that's our thing. We put fluoride in it. And, that's a big hot button. Like I said, some people are like, oh, it's good for you. And other people are like, no, you're drinking freaking acid. What are you talking about? Um, and but when I found that out, I'm pretty sure it was Germany.
Really?
Yeah, that was putting lithium in the water, and I was like, that kind of explains a lot about Germany right now.
It
And
does, doesn't it?
I hope they stop doing that, but I doubt it, because it
Fuck.
explains a lot about, especially back then when I was looking at it, because back then Germany was kind of just there. They weren't really doing anything. Um, it was just like I think it was like the EU was still pretty new back then. It hadn't been around for a terrible amount of time, and they were just kind of all going with it,
Oh shit.
not really questioning anything going around. I was like, they were docile. That's the word I'm looking for. They were very docile.
They were, eh? So
So
that.
when I found out they were spiking the water with lithium, I was like, well, that explains a lot.
Jeez. That's
They're all
why.
freaking lift out zombies.
Yeah, because lithium will fucking do that to you, like hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so one of my friends got prescribed that by some whack doctor he was seeing, and he took his prescription at my house, and he like clunked out the chair like he was just like out of it, and I was like, "Hey man, you okay?" Because he was like not moving. He was just like slumped over the chair. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Hey dude, you okay?" I was like messed up. I was scared for him.
Really?
And he just kind of groaned. He was like, oh, you know. I was like, hey, man, you know, I was like, do I need to call an ambulance for you or something? And he couldn't talk. He was like nonverbal. He couldn't talk to me or nothing.
No.
Uh, he kind of jolts up. His eyes are closed. He kind of jolts up, and then he just like hurls like everywhere. It was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah, and
Holy shit.
and then he like slinks back in the chair, and he's like groaning, you know, definitely not feeling good. And
Oh,
uh,
fuck.
he
No
eventually, like
kidding.
about an hour later, he snaps out of it, and we're like, "Hey man, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay." And I was
Holy
like, "What happened?"
cow.
He's like, my doctor put me on some new medication, and I told you like I'm supposed to." And I was like, and then that happened, and he's like, "Yeah." And
Oh.
like I just kind of blacked out, and I wasn't here for a while. I was like, "What did they put you on?" And he pulled out the
Oh.
bottle, and I read it, and it was like 1,000 milligrams of some crazy shit of lithium.
Holy
And
shit.
I went off. I was like, "Your doctor put you on this?
That's a
What?"
lot.
Like that's fatal. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah. It can be, you
so,
know?
so like I got in touch with like um, his parents and everything, and it was like, "Hey, um, whatever doctor he's seeing, you need to talk to him and tell him to start going to a different doctor because this doctor about killed him."
Yeah. What did his parents say? They were like, holy shit. Took you seriously, I hope?
Took it serious.
Oh, that's good.
When I told them what they put him on, they took it real serious.
Fuck.
His dad was pissed.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. You
uh,
know?
his mom was more concerned and worried than angry, but his dad was like ready to go and find the doctor where he lived. He was done.
Fuck.
uh, yeah, he was mad.
I had a
I'd never seen him mad before because he was a really chill guy. So seeing him
really.
mad was kind of startling.
Fuck, I had a doctor that was doing some nasty shit like that too. Like, he was at one point, he was like, um, I'm not bipolar. They shouldn't have had me on lithium. You know,
Yeah,
it got removed by the next doctor. They were like, holy fuck, they had to wean me off of all the shit the guy put me on. But he had me on lithium. He had me on Tylenol 3s along with it. I'd throw up every morning. He had me on, what the fuck's the name of that? Olanzapine. God, that stuff is terrible. And Zopiclone. Like, holy fuck. Yeah, it was a bad mix, man. Yeah, plus probably
I'll
some
admit
sort
that.
of antidepressant on top of that, and probably an antipsychotic. It's like, yeah, he made a mess. He ended up going to prison.
That sounds like he deserved it. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah, no
if he's doing
kidding.
that, giving people these freaking cocktails like that.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? You're gonna make me sick. It's like, you
Like a,
dumbasses. It's like, holy.
a
Uh,
lot of that comes down to just like simple medical corruption, is because a lot of doctors get kickbacks from these pharmaceuticals for writing prescriptions.
oh
So
yeah,
they'll just freaking pop out scripts, at least in the U.S. I can't imagine it being too different up in Canada land.
yeah.
Um, yeah, doctors get kickbacks for putting scripts out for people, and pharmaceuticals will cut them a check for it. So doctors, like, it's a real bad thing where doctors are just like, yeah, I'm going to give you all this crap you don't need so I can go and buy a Maserati.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you little bastards. It's like,
Yeah. Uh,
it's
I was pretty fortunate to have a really good doctor, like a bit of an overachiever, but a
oh
good
yeah,
doctor.
he was
He was a lawyer and a doctor and a heart surgeon and a cardio specialist in like one specific method of
holy shit.
cardio examination in this one specific method of heart surgery. And he, He was like a fitness guru kind of guy and all that. And
Really?
but he was a really good doctor. I mean, he was good at everything he did. So I mean, I can't really uh, talk smack about him. It's not like he's an overachiever trying to overcompensate. He's just really freaking good at everything.
It's just like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Uh,
Wow.
he's just really good at everything. He's a natural, you know. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm a doctor now. Oh, it turns out I'm one of the best doctors in the state. Oh, it turns out I'm one of the best heart surgeons in the state. Turns out I'm the best heart surgeon in the state.
Holy shit.
Turns out I'm one of the top heart surgeons in the nation.
Holy fuck. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he was a
it's
cool guy. He was a real cool guy. He didn't act like he was the best.
he didn't, eh? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, I remember I went in one time and I had an awful headache. I didn't know what was going on, and that's when we figured out. You know, it didn't take him very long at all. Like, he was able to find out that I had hereditary high blood pressure or hypertension, whatever they call it, the medical term for it.
Oh, really?
And yeah, like my blood pressure was a dead giveaway because I guess his assistant or somebody told him to just kind of do like the blood pressure checks on it and then kind of get it out of the way. And he came in. He's like, "How you feeling?" I was like, "Oh, I got a terrible headache." He's like, "Well, that's no surprise. How you feeling though? Like, do you feel like you're about to kill over or anything?" I was like, "No, I just got a little bad headache." And he's like, "Well," he's like, "you should have had a stroke by now."
No way. Really?
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
My blood pressure was like 160 over something crazy like that.
Oh
Crazy,
my
crazy high blood
god.
pressure.
So
He's
you
like, "Yeah,
were
you should have stroked out
close.
already." Yeah. And he's like, "So we're going to get you on a blood pressure medication, like now." And I was like, "Nope, not doing it. Not taking a blood pressure medication." I was like 16. I was like,
Oh,
"I'm
really?
16. I'm not getting on blood pressure medication. Are you kidding me?" He's like,
Yeah.
"We're going to have to make some big changes." He's like, "Name them." He's like, "Okay, I'm going to have to, like, no salt at all, no caffeine at all."
Right.
I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." But, but soda, that's my kryptonite, you know. I was like, I have a weakness for that soda. And he was like, "If you must, absolutely have soda. Caffeine free, diet Dr. Pepper. That's it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I can deal with that."
You can get a diet
And
free? I mean, you can get a caffeine free?
yeah, caffeine free diet Dr. Pepper. And it actually still tastes kind of like Dr. Pepper.
No way. Well, then it's worth it, right?
So, yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't like a terrible freaking thing. Like, if he would have been like, "Yeah, you got to do like freaking caffeine free diet Coke," I would have been like, "Oh, I'll just stick to water." You know, I'll get used to it.
Whoops. Yeah, no kidding. Oh man, I've been digging these diet Pepsis. I probably shouldn't be drinking them, but I mean, I guess there's no actual sugar in it.
The thing about the diet drinks you gotta watch out for is like what's it called, aspartame, and saccharin.
Oh yeah?
Aspartame especially. Saccharin's not good for you either, but aspartame is. I don't know how that stuff is legal. That stuff is straight up poison.
Mm. Let me find out here what, let me check.
It'll be on the nutrition facts, like the ingredients and whatnot.
I actually can't see it, it's so small. Let me just type it in. Give me a minute. Let me type in, does, what makes Diet Pepsi sweet? There. aspartame, a widely used artificial sweetener, or what is it? Asulfam potassium. And wait, okay, so it's just saying it possibly is using one of them, which, hang on, what sweeteners, I can barely think. Yeah, what sweeteners is in Diet Pepsi? Canada is both aspartame and acesulfam potassium. Yeah, in Canada. In the States, it's primarily aspartame with the acesulfam potassium added to balance the flavor. Canada, it's like 124 milligrams of aspartame and 32 milligrams of that acesulfam acasulfam potassium per 355 milliliter can. Yeah, so aspartame. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, the saccharin is the other artificial. That might be that other thing. That might be the other name for saccharin. I'm not sure. That potassium. But aspartame for sure is real bad. Like I really don't know how it's.
Is it even legal? No. Yeah, I don't know either. It's like, wouldn't regular sugar be better than that?
Yeah. Like it does a lot of weird. It has a lot of weird effects on the body, other than just being like toxic. Since it's an artificial sweetener, it does something with like your body tries to process it like sugar, but it can't.
Oh.
Which can lead to like diabetes.
Oh my God. Not having sugar can lead to diabetes. That's crazy.
Well, that like artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
Your body starts producing chemicals to break down the sugar, but there is no sugar to break down. There's nothing for those chemicals to interact with. So your body just gets saturated with these chemicals, and eventually you can form diabetes from that.
So I'd have to go and eat a bunch of sugar in order to clear out those chemicals.
Not like that. No, I wouldn't do that.
No? Like if I went and had a chocolate bar tomorrow, that would probably, it wouldn't fix up from drinking this tonight?
No, because you would still, like, your body would still produce the same chemicals. It just have sugar to break down, but you're still producing that chemical into your system nonetheless.
So it's just create more of it rather than use it to break it down and get rid of it. Oh, then that's not good. That's not good at all.
Pretty much like it's just like kind of wean off of artificial sweeteners, and that's pretty much all you can really do. Just kind of bring your body back into sync.
God, that's terrible. Yeah, then I gotta stop drinking those things, and if that's the case, it's not good at all.
Like a lot of people in my family, they're like diet soda fiends.
Really?
Yeah, I've never really liked diet soda ever.
I've never either, but
I guess I could taste that artificial sweetener for more than anything else, because that's all it tastes like to me is like soap.
Yeah.
It just tastes like soap.
It doesn't taste that bad now. It used to be really bad. Now it doesn't have that same, like, because when diet drinks came out, you could taste the aspartame. Like, it was so bad, it was terrible. Now it's you can like you can taste the difference, but it doesn't taste like that anymore. I don't know why.
Like I know a lot of people in my family that are like they diet soda. That's what they do. Um, and some of them have some medical conditions from doing that. Some of them don't.
Damn. Yeah, I gotta watch it then. Yeah, because that's not good at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Those
Damn.
artificial sweeteners are good stuff. Same thing with like corn syrup and stuff too. Corn syrup is really bad for you too because it's
Really?
complex sugar.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I think I could have a better diet than I have. It's not even
that's
that bad, but it's bad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could be smarter about it yet. Holy fuck, I'm getting tired. I gotta get up for church tomorrow. I never realized how tired I am. Yeah, I'm sitting here, yeah, feeling it. Yeah, for sure. I
correct.
know this is a short stream, but I'm gonna go on again tomorrow after church later on. So if you're around tomorrow, come pop in and let's talk some more if you're down. Are you busy tomorrow? Or are you gonna be around?
Uh, I'll probably be around. I don't know how busy I'll be with this ankle.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you're gonna be laid up. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well then, um, what I'll do is I'll hit you up on Discord and let you know that I'm on here, and we can talk some more in that. Cause yeah, I think that would be a good thing if you're down.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and fucking hit the sack and get some sleep. Cause holy fuck, am I ever tired? Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. My schedule is so gone. It is so far off all over the place. It's stupid. Hey, Diljan. He says he comes in all of a sudden out of nowhere. Mark. I'm going to bed, Diljan. Yeah. Wait, give him a moment. He might he might pop in and say a thing. Yeah, let's give Diljan a moment. If not, he'll just say goodnight or something. I think I did we give him long enough? I'm so tired. God, I can barely even think straight. Nah, he's not coming back. I think he just popped. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
there he is.
There he is. Imagine a game where you play as a character that realizes he's in a game. Then the goal is to find a way out of the game. Holy shit, that sounds cool. It's like the Matrix. I like it. Is that what you're working on right now? Diljan has got me into the vibe coding and taught me how to use lovable.dev. Yeah. So yeah, I've been learning from him and that. I'll wait for him to answer and then just thought it just thought of it. I'm gonna make it. You better. I think that's a great idea, dude. Okay, I'm gonna go, you guys. I fucking love yous. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow after church, okay?
All right. Get you tomorrow.
Sounds good, buddy. Peace and love yous. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, I guess I say it right. I'm Mark. I'm your social friend on the internet. If you see me streaming, pop in my chat, come say hi, and all the things. I will try not to be this tired tomorrow. Okay, bye.